Today we are reading the Bloomberg evening briefing. Let's see what they're going to tell us about housing because this is very important to me. I want to see what's going on with housing. Home sellers in pandemic boomtowns are slashing prices as they adapt to their expectations to a rapidly cooling market. People who could suddenly work from anywhere during the pandemic flooded once quiet housing markets like Boise, Phoenix, and Tampa in search of more space and lower housing costs. This demand sent home values soaring. Now, the Federal Reserve effort to tamp down inflation has sent mortgage rates above 5% and put the brakes on the housing market. Nationwide home sales dropped 19% year over year in July to the lowest level since the early days of the pandemic. Meanwhile, a jump in the apartment constructions in the US may help provide some relief. Eventually, to renters who face soaring prices, the construction boom was driven by demand, particularly in southern cities like Dallas and Miami, where many Americans flocked during the pandemic. But other places that were deserted during the worst of the COVID-19 crisis, including New York City, has seen an influx of returns. It's peak rental season in New York and in the hottest market in decades. Apartment hunters are feeling fed up, frustrated, and over budget. And it's kind of interesting because I just read the Morning Brew, and they were talking about how there's going to be 400,000 apartments being built this year, and most of them were going to be in New York. So this is pretty interesting how they're correlated, and this is why I like to read different news medias, like whatever they put, because like sometimes they cover a different point of view. So it's very interesting. So here are today's top stories. The era of low inflation is gone for good, according to PIMCO and Capital Group. Some of the world's biggest bond investors say the market is wrong to expect central banks to score a long-term win in the war against inflation. A sobering tone took over Wall Street after a rally that added 7 trillion to the stock market, with traders bracing for hawkish rhetoric from Federal Reserve officials at the Jackson Hole retreat later this year. Equities saw their worst rout in 2 months, following a surge that drove the S&P 500 to its best start to a third quarter since 1932. The Nasdaq 100 underperformed as Treasury 10-year yields topped 3%. Here's your market wrap. So let's see what happened. This is, again, I forgot to tell you guys the date, but this was for August 22nd. The judge who approved the search of former President Donald Trump's Florida state said intense public and historical interest in the FBI affidavit backing the warrant justified making an effort to unseal portions of it. U.S. Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhardt in West Palm Beach, Florida, issued a written order Monday affirming his findings from a hearing last week that the Justice Department hadn't made its case to keep the FBI search warrant affidavit completely sealed. Very interesting, you guys. Depending on what they put on there, it could be chaos. I don't know. You guys know that Trump was a very polarific, person that could change people's moods. So if the wrong thing comes out on this, that's not going to be good. Trump supporters are going to be pissed, and it's just gonna, add more fuel to the fire. But I don't know, you guys. Right now that Biden's in office, I don't know. I kind of miss Trump. Sounds weird to say, right? But whatever. I mean, politics. Me personally, you guys, I don't care who's in office because at the end of the day, nobody helps me. But anyway, let's see. Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers called on the Federal Reserve to deliver a clear message saying it will need to impose restrictive monetary policy that drives up the U.S. unemployment rate in order to quell inflation. New York City renters are broadening their searches to cheaper locals during the apartment market peak season. Neighborhoods in South and East Brooklyn, as well as Central Queens, saw spikes in online searches last month, according to Street Easy. Meanwhile, search volume declined in traditionally popular areas like Manhattan, West Village, East Village, and Greenwich Village, Lower East Side, and Soho. The euro broke below parity for the second time in just over a month as the resurgent dollar and the prospect of a different winter for the region began to bite. Strategies see this dip as part of the deeper descent. Wow, I can't believe, I don't know, ever since I can remember, the dollar has always been worth less than the euro. So this is kind of crazy to see history happening right now. Saudi Arabian's energy minister, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, said extreme violently and lack of liquidity means oil future markets is extremely disconnected from fundamentals, and OPEC Plus may be forced to cut production. Wow, you guys. So gas drops, and the OPEC are making less profits, and now they want to cut back on gas, you guys. This is just the worst thing ever. These Saudis are just taking money from everybody. So, what you need to know for tomorrow. Let's see what's happening. So, meme stock vacation is over. Resist the siren song of 40-year mortgage loans. Wow. Resist the siren song. That's interesting. We're going to have 40-year mortgage loans because it seems like interest rates are just going to stay high. Electric cars have a big tire conundrum. Taxes to soar 200% for rich Colombians in bill inspired by PKP. Belgian Prime Minister warns of 10 difficult winters for Europe. Manchester United protests against billionaire owners reach fever pitch. Get ready to reach for the mushroom pill. So Hamptons home sellers are slashing prices. Price cuts in the Hamptons would have been unimaginable just a few months ago. Home values in the luxurious Long Island enclave rose to record highs during the pandemic as wealthy New Yorkers sought an escape from the city, with median prices surging 88% from the second quarter of 2019 and the same period of the year. But the Hampton market is entering a new phase as a bumpy stock market. Early signs of a housing slowdown and fears of a recession cause demand to subside. It doesn't help that mortgage rates have moved higher at a time when inflation is making everything more expensive. And it seems like that's it for today. Wow. Bloomberg today in the evening, I guess it was just kind of wrapping stuff up. But right now the thing that interests me a lot is the home sellers are slashing prices. It's time for prices to go down so that people can get in there, you guys. Come on, you guys. Why is housing so expensive? Why can't they build more? There's so many empty lots in the country. Like, build more and help people get into affordable housing, But anyway, this was it. Hope you guys enjoyed me reading Bloomberg's evening brief. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to hear me read some more of these news articles for you guys. And stay tuned for more.